What is muesli? As an American, I've never really heard that term before.
Yeah, so you might have heard of oatmeal instead. It's basically a really popular breakfast choice in Switzerland, where we are based, or in Germany as well. And yeah, you can choose your oatmeal or your type of cereals, and then you'll add some milk to it, and then you enjoy your breakfast, basically.
So is it like is it really really popular where there's like shops that focus just on that where you can go and just get muesli?
I
Yes.
mean, typically in the cereal aisle, you have like, I don't know, 5 or 10 at least different types of mueslis too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
wouldn't
really
say that.
popular.
That's very interesting. Here in America, I wouldn't say I've ever seen like an oatmeal shop before. So it's interesting to hear the difference in culture there. So my second question for you guys is why Cardano? I noticed that you're initially launched on Binance Smart Chain and then decided to also open up another edition on Cardano.
Yeah, so the BCH part was only to get a feel for it. What do you have to do? How do you promote it and stuff like that. We only came into the team later on when basically with Cardano. The BCH part was done by Christopher and his co-founder at first, and then yeah, we joined. And the idea was basically we saw, oh, there's no DEX on Cardano. We thought like, yeah, why not give it a try? And I mean, if it fails, we did only lose like our time, and if it works out.
And
That's
then also, yeah, for Cardano, you have the benefit of like really low fees, and a
Yeah.
really low energy consumption compared to previous blockchains. So that's also like a really motivating aspect that brought us to develop for Cardano.
For sure. That's really a great reason, as an entrepreneur to build something or as a developer, there just isn't one. And I honestly think that's why, the community has shown you guys so much support, because you know, I actually, your site was the first time I'd ever connected my wallet, to a site and then, did a trade of some sort, on Cardano, which is new. So you guys really filled that gap there, and the community is coming out to praise you for that. It's pretty awesome. What is a DEX for people that don't know what a DEX is?
Yeah, so the idea is that it's a decentralized exchange, like focusing on the aspect of decentralization. And the main idea is that you do not have to send your money to a big company or bank and trust that company or bank, but that it's decentralized and, yeah, in our case, locked on the blockchain, and only you yourself can unlock it. Or, yeah, in the case of our DEX, it can be unlocked by a matching order. So basically, what you do is, yeah, you place your order, you specify the limit at which you're willing to buy a specific asset or sell an asset, and then it's locked. And then we have these decentralized matchmakers, which are looking at all the different orders on the blockchain and find like matching pairs and then pair them up. And that's how you can trade in a decentralized way.
Yeah, so I think another important note is that not every exchange on the blockchain is automatically decentralized. You have to use, in most cases, smart contracts. I don't know if there are other ways to do it, but you typically use smart contracts in a way for where everyone could basically just create their own smart contract and start swapping things. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is a very important note. Not every exchange on Cardano is decentralized. And, while some can state that they're decentralized, there's a lot of centralization. However, the caveat to that is, everything's new on Cardano. Cardano itself, in my opinion, is still inherently centralized, and we're moving to a decentralized ecosystem. So, these decentralized matchmakers that you talk about, how does that work? Like, how do you elect to be a matchmaker, or is that simply you just creating a contract, with a certain price?
So basically, I'm actually not quite sure about the details, but as far as I understand it, you have like your smart contract is the order itself. So you place an order for a front end. This creates a smart contract with your limit and amount values. And the matchmaker looks for a matching order on the other side. And then he notifies both smart contracts, hey, I've got matching orders. maybe you wanna like match,
Yeah.
and the smart contracts, if they match, so they check themselves, yeah, is this a valid order I can match with? And then they come together and magic happens.
Yeah, so basically, the smart contract lays on the blockchain, and you lock your funds when placing an order in that smart contract, and then it's just like iterating over that smart contract and finding like the matching pairs. And what we have is also like a small incentive for matchmakers. Basically, you pay a certain fee, and some of that goes to pay the chain from it. And then there's a small amount left, which is the incentive for matchmakers, which is like a leftover amount. And you as a matchmaker can also have then this little rest of a fee, and you can collect it when you pair those two orders up. And also, of course, when somebody is willing to buy at a much higher price, and then somebody else is willing to sell at a lower price, for example, you as a matchmaker can keep the difference between those, because in that sense you specify your limit, but then if there's something left from that limit and all parties get like their desired amount, then the matchmakers can keep the difference, and that's like the main incentive for people being matchmakers. As in some cases you can, if there's like a large leftover amount, then the matchmakers can keep the difference, and that's the main incentive. So that's
So on another note, we are currently working on making it easier to become a matchmaker, basically, because so we know that there are other matchmakers than us out there. And we don't have really much documentation about that. We're working on creating a program so everyone could get started being a matchmaker.
Okay, so you guys aren't the only matchmaker there is. You know, if someone was technically savvy enough to do it, they could right now. You guys are just working on that documentation.